Hey everybody, what is up? Um, I kind of feel like talking, but I don't know like how to say it. Um, so so last night I went to the doctor. It was a doctor's appointment to check my high blood pressure because I do have high blood pressure, and it was just like a regular checkup. I only go do this every 6 months, just like see what's going on and do a few labs. And as many of you know, I lost my mom in December. Um, so I know a lot of people are grieving and have lost others recently too, you know. So I just gotta say that my doctor is so cool. I she's a girl around my age, and you know how doctors are usually really quick with you and kind of just rush you out the door, and just they really seem to not stay in the room very long. I felt like it wasn't an appointment for my um it wasn't an appointment for my high blood pressure. It turned into a very therapeutic therapy session. So she actually knew my mom because she had met her once when I got my pap smear last summer. And my mom was in the room with me. My mom was asking her all kinds of questions just about health in general and about me. And I don't know, my mom went with me to the doctor that time. So as soon as the doctor walked in, she's like, oh, I don't know why. I just said, do you remember my mom? And she's like, yeah, I was going to ask you, how's your mom? And then I just told her, I said, she passed away. And immediately we just started talking and got into a deep conversation. My doctor she lost her father when she was only 17 years old. He slid on some black ice, was driving and slid on some black ice, and his truck rolled over. We just started talking, and she said, I know it's really hard to lose a parent. And, and we were talking so much, and it was so therapeutic. And I just felt like I need to come on here and talk, to you guys. I don't really know how to word anything. Like, I don't know the right words or how to word it. It was like all better in my head, but now that I'm here, I'm like, I can't talk. But I was just so amazed that my doctor didn't rush out. Like, we sat for 45 minutes in the room just talking about our parents that had passed away, and just the different things we went through, and grief. And it's just weird how grief, because I've lost a few other people before my mother. My great grandmother, she passed away when I was 13, and I knew her, but we weren't like super close. But my mom is like my mom was my best friend. She was the main person I ran to for anything. And she was just my number one. She was my number one. So, this is like the biggest loss I've ever had. And my doctor losing her father was also, I can't imagine losing a father at 17 years old. But we were talking, and it's just weird because I've never dealt with this grief before. And I'm honestly, like, I'm very grateful to God because He has given me like so much strength. Because I always thought, like, I've seen my mom battle through cancer and all that stuff. I always had that thought, she may not make it, or she may pass away. And I just always, like, imagine, like, if I lose her, like, that's it. Like, there's nothing. I would totally break down that it would just be the end of my life, pretty much, when my mom passed away. Which I am incredibly sad. I'm still miss my mom so, so much. I would do anything to have a conversation with my mom. I would want her to know how much I loved her. because she was telling me the day before she passed away that she loves me more than I'll ever know. She told me that life is very, very short. And me and my doctor it was kind of weird because we kind of like, I was just it's like my doctor's my friend. Like, I felt like she gave me a hug and we were like just talking about our parents. But I want to thank God because I'm so grateful for the strength that He's given me. Because every day I'm going to her house and I'm checking on the dogs. You know, and I try to do well, keep the house clean, but my brother's the main one living right there. I may move. I'm probably going to move there to my mom's house in May. But it's just hard because, you know, I have to go there and see her home and all her belongings. And she's not there anymore. And I'm so thankful for the strength I have. And it's just so weird about grief because, you know, I mean, everybody handles it in a different way. And I'm not, you know, every day crying. I'm trying my best. Like my husband says, try to stay busy as much as you can, which you can try to stay busy, but my mom is not going to entirely leave me. Her memory's not. So I try to stay as busy as I can and productive, and that helps. Sorry. Me and my sister have gotten, I feel like, incredibly close. We weren't as close before. My mom was always, she was the glue to everybody and kind of, you know, talked to everybody. But it's just weird. Like, I'm not crying every day, but it's just like, sometimes it hits you, like, when you don't expect it. The first day, the day she actually passed away, I didn't really cry, but I felt really heavy. I was just in total shock. I even remember, like, after the medical examiner people came and picked her up, my husband said, let's go somewhere. Let's just get out. Let's get away from here. So we went to the mall, which seems really stupid. Why would you go to the mall right after, you know, someone passed away? But, like, what am I going to do? If I go back home, I'm just going to keep thinking. Like, I mean, I'm still thinking about her, but I don't know. It's not like we had fun at the mall or anything, but we went to the mall. I was seriously walking around like a zombie because that just happened, and I didn't, like, what do you do? But we were just trying to get out, get away from things, like, get away from her house, get away from, you know. So we were walking around, and I remember my husband, because it was close to my daughter's birthday, Penelope. My husband offered to buy Penelope an early birthday present and get her some Justice clothes from Justice. And I remember being very, very angry. And I was so angry that my mom was gone. I know this sounds crazy. My husband says it's crazy, but other people say it's normal. I was so angry. I didn't want to be at the mall. I didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to be with my mom. But at that moment, there was like some clothes. There were some clothes hung up right there. And I wanted to go like that and just knock all the clothes on the ground. And just like, I was angry. I was angry because my mom was gone. So, you know, you go through different emotions. I was mad. I didn't do that, of course. They didn't kick me out of Justice or anything. But there was that. It's just weird how grief hits you. It's like it's in waves. Some days you feel okay, and then, like, out of nowhere, I'll just start crying, or And then I remember it was like, I think about just 2 weeks after she passed, I was sitting in a restaurant, actually one of the restaurants my husband works at, and I was sitting there. I didn't look good. I don't care. I didn't care about makeup, whatever. I looked bad. I just didn't care. So I was just sitting there, and this lady that me and my husband both know, she was real happy, real bubbly, and it came in, and her daughter was visiting. Her daughter's from Italy, and her daughter was visiting. She's like, "Oh, hi, everybody," and she's like, "This is my daughter," and you know, she's this very sweet lady, you know, and I just like wasn't really. My husband went up to talk, but I didn't want to be friendly because I didn't feel like happy. All I was thinking was, no, I don't want to smile. I don't want to be happy because my mom is not here, and I just remember them smiling and being happy, and I was so that it's not fair that my mom's not here. And then she kind of came up to me and introduced her daughter, and then I said hi, and then they walked away, and then I just couldn't help it, and then I just started crying at the restaurant, and I was just crying because I wanted my mom. And they had each other. She had her daughter, and the daughter had her mother. And so I was just crying there at Wendy's restaurant. And it's just weird because I was feeling okay when I went in there. But then when I see like people together, like really happy, that was at that moment in time. I was really upset. And, yeah, it's just hard. But I don't know what I'm doing. Let me try to get my thoughts together, and I'll talk some more. So my plan was not to really talk too much more like about my mom in my videos. Because like my channel's not about sadness and stuff like that. And you know, obviously, I'm trying to be positive, put my one foot in front of the other, and go on, you know, which I'm doing. But, you know, and I just wasn't going to talk about it. You know, you saw the video where I said my mom went to heaven and all that. And I was just going to put videos just on positivity. Like, I have all these ideas, like, for self-improvement videos and stuff like that, because I just have some stuff that's inspired me that I want to share. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to, I shouldn't even say I'm sorry, but, I'm not going to stop talking about my mom because she was the most important person in my life. So, I mean, I may not mention her in every video, but I'll still can talk about her, you know, as long as I'm alive. Because she deserves that, and she deserves the recognition. And she was, like, the most important person in my life. And I hope you know that, Mom. And like my husband said, like, that day that I was crying at the restaurant and Wendy's, and he's like, like, the lady came and comforted me when she saw I was crying, the lady I was talking about. And I was telling her as I was crying, I said, I'm sorry. And she said, no, you're not sorry. She said, and you cry. And then when my husband, who is not the most comforting person in the world, he was pretty comforting on the ride when I was going back home. He said, no, you cry for her, Tiffany, and you grieve because she is someone valuable who is worth your tears. She deserves your tears. And I thought that was pretty powerful that he said that, like, and even the preacher said that, like, you can't just try to, like, hold your feelings and just skip over it like nothing happened. Like, you have to grieve. You have to grieve. I'm not saying every day you should be laying on the floor, like, stuck under your blankets and, like, not want to come out and, you know, get out of bed. But if something hits you and you feel like you gotta cry, let it out, do it. And like my husband said, he's right. My mom deserved every tear that I cried. My mom was of so much value. She deserves it. She is someone to be grieved over, you know. So I'm going to kind of talk about another topic. So, and I want to also just say thank you for the people that have prayed for me and really supported me. Um, I do appreciate that. And the people that have checked on me and stuff like that. Um, you know, I've never been a suicidal person either. I've never really had suicidal thoughts. Um, but there were on Christmas Eve, actually, that was a hard day for some reasons I can't all say. I mean, it was all pretty much about my mom, but that day, I was in the kitchen and I had a knife, and I told my husband that I was really just upset. I wasn't in my right mind. And I told my husband that I wanted to, like, kill myself. And because it was just too much, I said I wanted to be with my mom. And obviously, I know it's not right to kill yourself. Um, and then he said, if you do that, you're not going to go where your mom is. You're going to go somewhere else. And then I was just like holding the knife in my hand, and I wasn't really gonna do it. But I was just contemplating. Like, I don't think I would have really. And then of course I have 2 daughters that need me, so I'm not gonna like do something like that. So anyway, I ended up putting the knife away, and that was a very, very hard night. Because it's just like, I just want to be with my mom. But I got to remember, I got 2 girls to raise. So I can't give up like that. Like, even if I want to be with my mom, like, I have to be here on this earth. Because I have to try to be the best mom I can for these girls. I have to. That's my mission. So that's what I'm going to do.